3 days is gonna be 1 year of the new Syria. Come visit and help rebuild the Citadel. Till today, here in the Citadel, you can find bullet case. Bashar al-Assad is still there. The previous president, the horrible guy, and now they're changing because of hyperinflation, everything. That's the largest soap in the world. Okay. The Citadel and the old houses here, absolutely full of bullet holes. The Taliban is using in Afghanistan with an Islamic flag, which is the same writings in the Saudi Arabia flag. CNN and BBC doesn't show you because they're just gonna show you drama, war, poverty, everything is terrible. This is Lotto's favorite coffee shop.
Spanish latte.
Look at the size of my chicken. If me and you Muslim don't agree with me, you can write in the comments area why you don't agree with me. Hello everyone, welcome to another video from out of your comfort zone. My name is Rodrigo and we are here in front of the Aleppo Citadel, the northern part of Syria. Yes, it's December 2025 and we are visiting Syria. No local tourists, there's a bunch of people around, most of them local tourists, not foreign tourists like us. As you can see, the Citadel is there and right across the Citadel you have a bunch of buildings completely destroyed because the Citadel was one of the main focal points of the battle here in Aleppo. The rebels, they hold the Citadel for 5 years until the Assad regime, with the backing of Russian Air Force, they took back the Citadel. So there was a lot of fighting here. So in this video we're gonna explore Aleppo and gonna have many videos of Syria, also exploring Egypt, which was the capital of the rebels, explore Latakia, which was the minority that supported the government, lives in Latakia, and obviously Damascus, why not? But the great thing here that we're not gonna be alone while we're here in Aleppo. You know Nikki already, she's learning Arabic. Guess what? Her teacher is from Aleppo. That's Lotus and her fiancé Hassan.
Hi guys, hi everyone.
So it's gonna be awesome because we're gonna have two locals here showing us, they are locals from Aleppo, showing us around, talking a little bit about the history and their perceptions of the last 10-15 years when you had the war and how Syria is coming back to life, because literally in 3 days is gonna be 1 year of the new Syria, when the rebels took over the power from the Assad regime and Syria is starting to be rebuilt and opening up back to the world. So we're going to explore together Aleppo and at the same time learn more about this new Syria. Let's go. Let's explore. As I mentioned, there's a lot of people outside here. The cafes are busy. People are enjoying. There's security. So far, so good. So here's our ticket. It costed around $4 for foreigners, but for them, locals, 40 cents of a dollar, which is completely fair. Yeah, they need a lot of money to rebuild everything here, and even the Citadel, you can see the bullet holes still everywhere. So your foreign currency, if you're a foreign tourist, is very welcoming here. Come visit and help rebuild the Citadel. Again, just across all the destroyed buildings. That's huge. This inside part wasn't affected by the fighting.
Did they rebuild it?
I think they already renovated quite a bit.
It's really fortified, so.
Obviously, there's a lot of stuff still need to be rebuilt. Not rebuilt 100% because it's an old Citadel. But you can see here the sandbags with protection. So this was essentially a part of the Citadel that the rebels used for fighting. In this part, a lot of things are destroyed over there. For example, here's a mosque, but it's closed still. So here, as you can see, like a larger part of the Citadel, and down there, those are literally trenches, like recent trenches that the rebels and after the government soldiers were using here inside the Citadel. So they probably had tunnels underneath to protect from the aerial bombardments. I'm gonna have a pretty cool view now of the city of Aleppo because the Citadel is right in the middle of the city, overseeing the whole city on top of a mountain. But for example here, that's a classic example of structure that was bombed from above and the whole roof collapsed. And as promised, here's a beautiful view of Aleppo, part of Aleppo, right? Because the Citadel again is in the middle of Aleppo, top of a hill. So you have a 360-degree vision of the whole city of Aleppo. That's why this place was so strategic for both the rebels and the government troops. But But what you can see that I think is interesting, one, you can still see a lot of destruction. That big building over there with half of the roof collapsed. Right here is still a lot of destruction. But at the same time, you can see how many solar panels, a lot of solar panels. And if you haven't seen our videos about Afghanistan, there was a lot of solar panels there as well. Because as Afghanistan, and here literally, the war finished 1 year ago, literally 1 year ago. They're still having problems with energy supply, with electricity. A lot of places don't have electricity 24 hours throughout the day. They keep changing. Different neighborhoods have electricity today and the other one doesn't have it, or just parts of the day. So what they do, very resourceful, they have solar panels with batteries to supply energy for most of the day. And a lot of places we are in Afghanistan, exactly the same. You see solar panels everywhere. So people very adaptive. Right over there is the main mosque here in Aleppo. Let's see if we can visit today, or at least from on the outside. Sorry, I know I'm repeating about the solar panels, and if you watch my Afghanistan video, I talk a lot about that because it's very geopolitical. That's the Chinese power. They've been producing solar panels non-stop, like in huge quantities. So the price of solar panels in the last 10 years dropped almost 90%. So it's becoming super affordable everywhere around the world to have solar panels now. Obviously, you also needed the batteries, but it's just like give a lot of more freedom, especially for developing countries that don't have massive hydroelectric, massive nuclear power stations, to kind of leapfrog from not having electricity at all. Instead of having the government building the electricity supply, the houses, each individual house build their own electricity supply. So that's the power that the Chinese mass production brings to the rest of the world, which is very positive in my view. Love seeing people here, the locals, just enjoying their time, taking selfies. A lot of them have the new flag of the current government, the new Syrian flag, which instead of the red, the stripes with the red, now they have the stripes with the green. So it's pretty cool to see like the new nationalism for a better Syria. While you're having the tour here, they're both taking advantage of the opportunity to teach more Arabic to Nikki. And you're wondering, like, Nikki, we live in Idaho, and how she has classes here with Lotus in Syria, in Aleppo. Essentially, it's like online classes with italki. I don't know if you all know italki, and there's also Verbling. You can learn languages with people from all over the world online. So if you want to learn Spanish, you can learn with someone from Spain, or someone from Venezuela, or someone from Mexico, someone from Argentina. Online, you choose the teacher. They have some reviews. People are saying it's a good teacher, it's a bad teacher, whatever. The price is over there per hour, and you hire a teacher from anywhere in the world. So much more affordable, to be honest, than to do in person. And that's how she met Lotus. She wanted to learn the Arabic from this region, the Levantine Arabic, Shami, which is spoken in Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. She started learning Arabic with her, and they became friends. Why not visit Syria and visit with Lotus?
بس كمان في كتير شيء دمار.
Imagine, during 5 years, under relentless bombardment by the Russians, the rebels were able to hold on to the citadel. And then eventually, the Assad regime retook the citadel, and in literally a couple of days, the rebels retook it again, now 1 year ago. That's why, about 10 days ago, there was a commemoration here with the current president, here at the citadel, commemorating the liberation of Aleppo from the Assad regime. That's a good view from the inside of the whole citadel to see how big it is. And they have an amphitheater right over there. Maybe you can take a look. And those guys, they had like a Polish humanitarian action. So NGO, hopefully maybe helping with the construction here, because they're taking specific pictures about specific things. Thanks for the Polish people. We're inside of a mosque here, inside the citadel. Interesting, there's not much stuff here. They weren't using it for a mosque. But what is most interesting, we just spoke with someone from Dara, in the south of Syria, close to Damascus. That's where the revolution started, in Dara. People started protesting, and then Bashar al-Assad was quite brutal, repressing the protests, and then they spread all over Syria. And she was saying like how happy she is right now that she can complain online. Literally, she can make memes of the current president, she can write posts complaining, hashtag go away, hashtag something. She's happy that for the first time in decades and decades and decades, they can complain about the president the same way probably you complain about your politicians, your presidents, and everything, without being persecuted, without being arrested, without getting thrown up into a secret prison or anything. And that's some freedoms that we have and we sometimes don't appreciate, and now they're having it. It's not a perfect government. It literally started 1 year ago, but I think things are right in the good track. You can see different parts of different pillars here. Because again, if this citadel is 5,000 years old, imagine different civilizations, Byzantines and others were here. They have their different architecture throughout the millennia. This is not a destruction from the war. This is a destruction from an earthquake that happened here last year. Crazy. And now the call to prayer. All the mosques around Aleppo having the call to prayer. It's very beautiful actually. And from here, the side of the citadel, you can see the court here, and the building is completely destroyed. But I think the most incredible, like in a bad way, obviously, that crater. Can you see the size of the crater over there? I would say like it almost sure was a Russian bomb, and how that crater helped collapse the whole building here on the side, right by the side of the citadel. And still today here in the Citadel, you can find bullet case. Looks like a 7076, maybe 556. They had like all over the city. Can you imagine, like during all the battles? They clean a lot of that because the metal is very precious. Like you can use the metal, recycle it. But you still can find a little bit just here. And as I mentioned, they had the earthquake here. So this is a proposed post-earthquake response for the Citadel, which is, come on, right? The guys had like 13 years of civil war here, bombed the whole Citadel, and then they have an earthquake. Seriously? But they're recovering, they're recovering. So this amphitheater is much newer. It's from the 70s. It was built by the father of Bashar al-Assad. So you can see it was just used for events here in the middle of the citadel. But they were telling me even today, from time to time, you're in a bar here in Syria and someone stands up and scream like cursing the father of Assad. And everyone stands up and curse the father of Assad because he was a brutal dictator, apparently even worse than Assad. So they just curse him. Why not? Like a go F yourself. What I love again is people just walking around with the new Syrian flag, showing their patriotism to the new liberated Syria. Super cool. Obviously, all the teenagers didn't waste any time to graffiti everywhere, but you see the graffitis are new because obviously before no one would graffiti a citadel, but then once it opened and there was no control here, like it was completely abandoned, people could come here and graffiti everywhere, like 2025, 2025, 2025. Now, hopefully people are stopping doing that. If you want literally more information specific about the Citadel, you can look online, right? It's easily to read the history. But I think it's interesting in this case is to show like the new Syria, the contrast between the destroyed parts and the main attraction here, one of the main attractions of the country, which is the Citadel, and how you see all the locals already visiting it as life goes on. Wow, this is amazing. What is that?
It's the Hall of the Kings.
That's the Hall of the Kings. It's incredible. The details of the mosaic on the roof, gorgeous. And some of the chandeliers, that one is okay. And that one destroyed. Maybe it was even from the earthquake, not from the fighting itself. Getting to a secret place here. We got inside the place here with this guy, kind of a local tour guide, like, you know, got like cheap and everything, but I don't know if you're supposed to be here. Oh, nice, yeah. Explaining all how the defense of the citadel used to work during the old ancient times, the different layers of defense. They just invited us for coffee, and yes, it's better for me if I have coffee to record because I get a little bit more, I'm more on my toes when I'm having coffee to be able to record, and all the memory and everything comes up very fast. Sorry guys, unfortunately that's not natural for me. A little bit out of my comfort zone, which by the way is the name of the channel, right? So makes sense. Of course, thank you. Thank you. Where are you from? Aleppo? Idlib. Idlib. We are going to Idlib in 2 days. We shouldn't. When did they open the Citadel for tourists after the liberation?
I think it was 2 or 3 months ago. It started to open.
That's pretty cool.
There you can see the coffee shops.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to come here on Friday and they eat manouche. You know manouche?
No.
It was the same thing that you ate in Lebanon.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
for breakfast.
Yeah. Exactly. And yes, that's everything. And then you were gonna like visit a place where you can see the most huge piece of soap in Syria or in the world. I think it's in the world. It's laurel soap.
Laurel soap, which is famous. Aleppo is famous for the.
Aleppo is famous for laurel soap.
Nice. Look at that. How many people? Obviously today's Friday, so it's a day off and everyone's here like just enjoying the Citadel. But a lot of people like visiting, like I love it. Like, and you had any idea what all this security coming up? Maybe someone important's coming up?
No, I think no. I think it's just the security. Like, oh, maybe.
You see, like there was a bunch of soldiers coming up. Yeah.
I think somebody. I don't know, an important person.
Yeah, people seem super relaxed. Look at that. That's awesome. Like 1 year of the liberation. People enjoyed their time. The weather is beautiful. Beginning of December. Lovely place. Syria deserves your visit. You have to come. They need your money. No, but it's true. Like they really need it.
The mayor is here.
Ah, a gente viu monte de policial subindo ali. Aparentemente o prefeito tá aqui. Wow, there's a lot of people coming up now. So if you come visit, come in early in the morning. Otherwise, look at the line. I think it would be one of the main attractions here in the whole Syria, the Citadel of Aleppo.
Selling sweets here.
Yeah.
I can record.
No, yeah, so.
Those sweets, we can take.
It's good, yeah. I love it actually. And the coffee shops. Middle Eastern coffee shops, like coffee places, amazing.
People here sell all kinds of things. You can have some nuts here.
Beautiful nuts everywhere.
Yeah.
Obviously the Citadel is huge, so if you walk around it's gonna take quite a few minutes. And there was a moat here. Obviously it had water in the past, but not anymore, right? But it was almost impenetrable, that fortress here, at least in the ancient times. That was pretty cool. We're gonna have a coffee right by the side of this building, completely destroyed. And you know, I'm originally from Brazil, and then we found here coffee from Brazil. So they're having coffees here now. They are having Spanish coffee, which is kind of a latte.
Spanish latte, thank you very much. Spanish latte.
Spanish latte.
And note that they don't call it Spanish latte in Arabic. They literally say Spanish latte.
Yes.
That's it.
He's having the classic espresso.
Yeah.
And I'm having a Turkish coffee, which you know is very strong and big. But just like when you were paying for the coffee, I noticed there are 2,000 bills. It's like Bashar al-Assad is still there. The previous president, the horrible guy. And now they're changing because of hyperinflation and everything. They need a pack of money just to buy a coffee. So now they're changing. They're taking off 2 zeros. They're gonna change all the bills. So it's gonna be much easier to do business. You just, with 1 bill, you can buy a meal. Now you need like that much to buy a meal. And obviously having this coffee by the side of the Citadel. Oh Lord, this coffee is so strong. I want to start dancing on top of the walls over there.
Wish us all luck because we have to deal with him all day.
Whoa. This is like a caramel white chocolate tart.
I think it's better if you eat it without fork. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
with
yeah?
your hands, yeah.
Okay.
Just go all in, Rodrigo. Go all in.
Oh, and he's got like
Oh,
red
same
velvet.
time. You guys
I
take a
love
bite
red
at the same
velvet.
time. It'll be so cute.
Come on in.
Okay.
Yeah?
What is it, Rodrigo? Tell us what it is in Syria. You can do it.
Tart Taiba. And probably, as most of you already know, the Turkish coffee is not completely filtered. It's boiled with the coffee itself. So at the end, when you drink, you're gonna have the rest of the coffee here at the end of the cup. You can tell they were using this place here as a shelter and using from the windows to shoot because they have rocks all over the windows to protect, barricading themselves. The Citadel and the old houses here, absolutely full of bullet holes. We are going to the Souk now. That's another mosque, and to be honest, you see a lot of the mosques full of bullet holes because obviously mosque is sacred. Because it's sacred, or the enemy or the Assad troops, they think people are not going to attack the mosques, so they barricade inside the mosques. They use it as a defense point. But what happens then, the enemy knows that, and then they shoot at the mosques. So a lot of the mosques were destroyed, like the main minaret of the main mosque here in Aleppo was destroyed because it becomes a part of like one of the focal points, some of the combats. And there is the old Aleppo and the new Aleppo. And the old Aleppo has 9 gates, and this is one of the gates. And apparently this one saw a lot of combat because there's a lot of bullet holes all over. And now you're leaving the old Aleppo to go to the new Aleppo to go to the Bazaar or the Souk. I guess they're commemorating Saddam Hussein's death. That's 2024. Oh, okay. So what they were saying about Saddam Hussein?
They like it because he's a Sunni.
Ah, okay. And we get into one of the bazaars and look at that. So this is for like eyeliner. Can you show me, Nikki? Like a...
Where
I've never used it.
So you take it off.
You put it in here,
There's a ink.
ink inside, and then you go.
And those old daggers, I think, that especially in Yemen, but it's still in Oman as well, men use here. Like Oman probably most commemorative, but in Yemen it's still an everyday situation. Like a work of art made of a tank shell or artillery shell. It's engraved here. My new house key. And this Hassan was showing me, it's for music. One second. And this is to prepare the Arabic coffee. You put it sometimes in the hot sand like that and then just let it boil. And if you're visiting Aleppo, you can't miss the Aleppo soap. Here they have different smells and pretty good. It's very, very, wow, it's very famous. And this is all soap. All about soap. So this essentially is a shower soap. Aleppo soap, world's largest soap. No, it's not possible. Okay, Guinness World Record. That's the largest soap in the world. Wow. 1,520 kilograms. How old is that? 6 years? About 6 years. It's like a huge piece of soap. And that's where we are. The base of the soap is made of laurel leaves. So it's very, very natural, very organic. They gave us a small gift, a little soap. So kind. Shukran kathir. Ma salama. It's not because I got a little soap, but this shop is super cool. If you're coming here to Aleppo, have to visit. I guess there is someone important coming. They're having a commemoration there. Okay, so they're having like a massive event here. They even have some Boy Scouts over there. And actually Hazim, one of his friends, a Boy Scout over there. And as you can see, there's a lot of security here. A lot of cyclists over there. With the bicycle. Yeah, cool. There's a lot going on in Syria these days. And a very important fact that I forgot to mention. Aleppo is inhabited for 12,000 years. So it's the oldest inhabited city in the world. 12,000 years. If you think I'm from Brazil, and Brazil is about 500 years old as a country itself, that's a lot of time. Okay, so that's the March of Liberation. It's a cycling competition and they're about to start. And that flag over there is exactly the one the Taliban is using in Afghanistan with an Islamic flag, which is the same writings in the Saudi Arabia flag. So it's a way to distinguish themselves, like we are Muslims, we are Islamic, like more strong, the true ones, but they're trying to distance themselves from ISIS or Daesh, which was that insane badly thing that existed, that I think 99% of the Muslims in the world agree that Daesh or the Islamic State was something terrible, and then they all should burn in hell. And if you don't, and you don't agree with me, and you're Muslim, you don't agree with me, you can write in the comments area why you don't agree with me. And that's the black one. But again, what is written that is different from what was written in the ISIS one. But it's still that black flag, it's still more for, I would say, more extremist people. Saipa, that's a car produced both in Syria and Iran. Interesting. Damascus, Medan, airport, train station. Shoulder by shoulder, hand in hand, we will build our country. And December 8th, the day of liberation. About the Liberation Day all over here. It's gonna be literally in 4 days, 3 days. This is the King Faisal Street, and this is the Rahman Mosque. It's one of the main mosques here in Aleppo. Very beautiful, the dome there. We are in the western part of Aleppo, and it's kind of more newish, more, let's say, money-wise. These buildings are really nice, where the elite lives. So it's still in a lot of places here in Syria. They have those massive generators for when there's no electricity. They generate it for like many apartments around the street. And it's been here for a while now. It's not something like they just added right now. So it's a way of being like used to electricity cuts and adapt to it. That one there, and here another massive generator again. Now we're gonna have shawarma here. This is a great place in Aleppo if you wanna get shawarma, which is more or less kind of kebab, but with chicken. Look at the size of my chicken. I'm gonna show you when it's getting ready. Manolia is the place we are having our shawarma. So this is our shawarma. She has the simple one. I have the more fancy one with cheese and mushrooms plus the fries. And the garlic sauce was about $6. Good deal. Very good deal. Agora tem uns amigos aqui desesperados por comida, né? Opa! And welcome to the Etihad Street, the cool place to be if you are here in Aleppo, where you're gonna see and be seen. All the cool kids come here with their fancy cars to have some coffee, to enjoy their time, to do some smoke hookah, do some shopping, have ice cream. And we mentioned in our Afghanistan video, that's the kind of places that definitely CNN and BBC doesn't show you, because they're just gonna show you drama, war, poverty, everything is terrible. There are these things, but there are also these families having fun, enjoying their Friday night.
People living perfectly normal lives.
Exactly. So I think that's the part that needs to be shown of the new Syria, that they are trying to have just a normal life like you and I, we have in our home countries. And they are ready for Christmas here in Syria. That's pretty cool, right? Because as you know, there is a Christian minority here. Hello. Some things around the world, obviously, they are different, but some things are very much the same. They're pretty universal, like young dudes with cool cars, like with expensive cars, showing off for the girls. That doesn't change anywhere. And there's like a cool cafe place here. You can do co-working, you can have a coffee, you can have hookah. It's pretty cool. Very busy. And if you're also looking for a co-working place here in Aleppo, the same place, they have meeting places. It's a nice place. It's pretty busy here, pretty cool. And look, they're having the FIFA Arabic Cup, which for the second time now is in Qatar. But so you have just people chilling and again, like where we live, right? Same cool things. Why they don't show you that in Western media, right? It makes you wonder. Let's be honest. Did you think that 1 year after the liberation, Syria would be like that? Here in Aleppo, remember, Aleppo was constantly bombed, constantly. Thank you, Russia, for destroying the whole city. What do you think right now? It's like a new life. I think it's awesome. There is a soldier, rebel, you call it, over there, hugging a little baby and saying, "You're the beginning of the story." So they're trying to show that. I know there's some reservations about where the rebels that took over Syria, there's some reservations where they come from, and I know that, the HTS. I know they have some Islamic background. Some people say, they're ISIS, they're nice. They're not ISIS, don't be stupid. Research, stop falling for conspiracies. They're different groups. Yes, there were some fundamentalists there, but they're much more open-minded, and some of them, especially the leader, the president today, they're really transforming themselves. They're really trying to embrace. Obviously, some parts of those fighters are still a little bit stuck on their old mentality, but the idea is like they're getting much more open-minded and everything. And again, a lot of women not wearing scarves, a lot of people drinking alcohol. We were in Afghanistan. That's conservative, my friends. That's fundamentalist. Watch our videos about Afghanistan and you will see it's a completely different world. But here, at least, you know, first the message is trying to be more positive, and then the attitude also comes with the message. So you've been following my videos in Pakistan and Afghanistan. I went to the gym in all these places. Pakistan separated, Afghanistan no gym for women at all. Here, there's a gym for men. Guys, you work out here. And then right over here, a gym just for the ladies. So this is Lotto's favorite coffee shop.
Spanish latte.
Yeah.
Taide.
The same one they have there this morning by the Citadel, they have over there. And that's, you're gonna say, is like the cool, the nicest place here in
it's
Aleppo.
for the young people. They like to come here and enjoy the cafes and
Maybe
the
one on
vibes.
their left.
The Etihad Street that we were is just over there. We are walking all the way here.
Yeah, Etihad Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole area is called Mogambo.
Neighborhood is just there. Hello. And right around the corner, you have a very nice mosque. It's a very beautiful mosque. And they're having the prayer right now. Apparently, since 2011, they didn't have any new cars because of the civil war and all the sanctions over the country. But now, since everything is open up, you have new cars. De novo, adoro ver a nova bandeira, que era a bandeira do Exército Livre da Síria, que se juntou com HTS, mais ou menos, e ainda apoio da Turquia, e libertaram o país. Então não é grupo de rebeldes, não é um negócio homogêneo, todo mundo pensa igual, todo mundo é fundamentalista, ou ninguém é fundamentalista. Não, é uma mistura de pessoas que acabaram se unindo, como os Estados Unidos se uniu com a União Soviética na Segunda Guerra Mundial para lutar contra o nazismo. Eles acabaram se unindo para derrubar o mal maior, que era o Assad. O regime do Assad, depois de 50 anos, muçulmanos dele e do pai dele. E agora conseguiram libertar a Síria e eu acho que estão no caminho positivo. A gente vai falar mais disso nos outros vídeos, quando a gente estiver em Damascus ou Idlib. Here at the Christian neighborhood in Aleppo, you have a Christmas tree. 20% of Aleppo is Christian. But now there's a bunch of women with headscarves, like Muslims, taking picture of the Christmas tree because it's fun, it's
Everyone
cool.
gets to enjoy Christmas.
Right?
here.
Yes, so why not? And this is here is the...
Bab el Faraj.
Obviously, Nikki's accent's much better than mine. And right over there, far away, is the Sheraton here. That doesn't matter which country you are, how rich, how poor, how developed, how in the middle of a civil war, Sheraton's always gonna be there.
Everywhere.
So we are finishing the day for today, but tomorrow there's more Aleppo for you. Let's go.